Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
Greetings, it is the TonicMan, and another great podcast. Folks, this one is a humdinger. But, I just wanted to mention I did produce a video recently. It is available. We did send it out to everyone's email. If you have not seen it, please call home office. We'll text it over to you. It will soon be available on our website, but in the meantime, get your hands on it and have a look. One of the things I speak about in that video is how delighted I am that we have a new federal government that is actually going to do something about the health of this country, of the citizens, of Americans. And I did mention that once it takes hold and starts getting going in the right direction, other countries are going to probably jump on the bandwagon. Well, when it comes to the good old US of A, isn't it strange? There are two political parties. They both are trying to get to the end, and they'll use any means to get to the end. And from my humble opinion, any party is good if the end is good. So what is the end? Well, the end is, in my books, healthy citizens. And isn't it strange? The staunchest Democrat of all, a Kennedy, has joined with a Republican who used to be a Democrat, and now together they are working hand in hand to change the health of America. Holy mackerel. What a fantastic thing. And here I have been trying to change the health of not only this country, but my home country of Canada, where I was born, and every other country. How can we bring better health to the citizens of the world? Hence, our company is called Jurak Worldwide, because we want to affect people worldwide. And we do ship worldwide, so remember, those of you who do not know, you can ship to any country. We'll do it for you. If you have friends, family in other countries, they should be enjoying the benefits of the youth solution, the JC Tonic, just as you are doing right here at home. So make sure you bone up on how to do all that, and if you don't know, call home office. We will give you the directions, or we'll do it for you. So for the call tonight, I really think that it is part and parcel of that whole MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. Because all we've been hearing for the last number of years is how men seem to have lost a lot of their vim and vigor, and people are having less families, less children, and some people are saying because maybe men are being affected by whatever it is that we're being fed and we're being given as medications. Everything affects the body negatively when it's not rebalancing your body, when it's unbalancing your body. And I don't have to mention to you again, do I? Yes, I do. Go to the website, jurak.com, or your replicated website, and click on Daniel B. Mowry and listen to what he talks about when he discusses balance. Everything in the body has to be balanced. And I've many, many times mentioned how we spend a lot of time, energy, and money rebalancing our automobile, bringing it to the shop, having it tuned up, having the wheels aligned, and so on to keep it in balance. And we're not doing the same for our bodies. And that's the key. balance. When everything is in balance, you will have a much happier, better life. And tonight, a couple of our guests, one in particular, is going to tell you how unbalanced his body was and how it rebalanced to the point that he's alive 20 years past what he thought he was going to live, because he was sure he was going to croak pretty fast. He was feeling so badly. And how life can change when you have a positive attitude, and how in this country there are so many people with negative thoughts and anger. And that's, I'm sure, because they have unhealthy bodies. Things are out of balance. So it affects the mind, it affects the stress, and so on. If you're healthy and strong and plenty of vim and vigor, even when you have to go through really tough time or you're faced with tough choices, you manage because your body is healthy and your mind is healthy. I think I mentioned many times how a healthy body makes a healthy mind. So listen carefully to what our guests have to say tonight, because this is part and parcel of that rebalancing. And this is just the part about men. So ladies, listen up, because if your guy is dragging himself around, maybe this is what he needs to perk himself up. So have a listen, and I will come back at the end of our guest discussion, and I'll make a couple of comments that I think you're going to find very, very important. Here we go. Benjie, come on down.
Well, whenever I introduce the JC Tonic, I tell people how good it is, for their health. And I keep on telling them that they have to love themselves first, than to be able to help their own health. Because you helping yourself is you're helping your body and get used to some good stuff in your stomach.
So you're thinking that the people that don't do anything about their health, it's because they don't love themselves?
Well, I think that that's one of the main questions out there that people should know. And I think that if they don't take care of their health, I think that they're lacking some love on their body.
Well,
You know
that's
what?
something that I've never heard in 50 years of doing all this. And
Well,
if that's the case, there's a lot of people that need some love in this country.
well, I was told that at a real young age by my parents, my grandparents, and I've been hearing it from my ancestors, back 50 years ago, maybe 60, that you have to love yourself first to love others also. You have to love yourself, because when you hurt someone, that means that you're an animal. You're angry, or you just have a different temper, and that's not good. That's not good. It's like you said earlier, you got to love each other. In this world, we've got what you call no respect right now between people. No respect at all.
And you're right about that, that people are angry and they do things that are terrible to other people. And I wonder, like you do, how do people even do some of the things they're doing? It's just terrible. And you're right, maybe it's because they're all angry because they have bad health.
Well, yes. And you know that people, when they're hurt, you're in an anger stage, you get mad for any little thing. And hey, I didn't do anything to hurt you, and I don't have anything with your health. Why are you upset at me? You know what I mean? So you might be a little bit right there, Anthony,
Yeah.
about that are upset about themselves. Yes.
So you got started drinking the tonic. How? How did you get started?
Well, I got started for my friend Cecil. We grew up together, played Little League together and stuff. He sent me all the literature, and I read about it, and I read it, and I liked it.
You've
And I,
known him since you were in Little League?
yes, we were, between me and him and you, we've known each other for maybe 50, 60 years. We've been, since we were 10 years old.
Wow. This is really great.
He knows who I am. He went to school with me.
Yeah.
Buddy, all my Little League teammates. Yeah, well, he played with us, so.
So how is it that you don't know it so long? Because he's been drinking it for about 20 years when he started drinking it.
Well, I should, I don't know, but I hadn't seen Cecil because I was living in Katy, Texas, and then I moved to the Hill Country, and now I'm living in New Braunfels, in between Austin and San Antonio, and we lost track there for a gap of 10 years there. 10, 12 years, I lost him. So
Sure.
then we got back together, and we've been keeping our information together now.
Well, I'm glad you finally started drinking it. It's never too late, no matter who it is. Everybody seems to be able to get much better health in one way or another, I guess. So what happened when you started? Or
Well,
I should say, what health issues did you have before you started?
well, I didn't have no issues at all. I'm a healthy guy myself. I take care of myself. I've been taking care of myself for more than 35 years or 40 years.
Meaning what? You
Well,
make sure you eat correctly and
yes, yeah. The secret to live a long life, you gotta, like we were saying earlier, you gotta love yourself. And second, you have to eat whatever's out there the best and take care of your body. And you have to eat a lot of vegetables. But since I took this JC tonic, I noticed that I had more energy. I have more power to myself, to where you're not where you call like a lazy stage, where you get depressed or you start getting lazy and start just going down. People at that point, they need sugar. You know what I mean?
I sure know what you mean.
So some people go down to that level, and I think that this product, the JC Tonic, is very good for them at this point. And I'm trying to get everybody on board, to see if they can take, some of this and notice. And I want everybody to read the label before they get into it, because I don't want to push anyone and pressure them to buy it, only if they want to.
So you actually notice with everybody around you that they have a bit of that lack of energy, lack of excitement, and of course, no matter who in the country, everybody seems to be pushing into that sugar thing.
Yes, and I see most of my friends going and suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and they're obese. And I said, your problem is that you guys eat too much, and what you're eating is not good. And I hate.
How old are you, Benji?
I'm 67. I'll be 68 here, Anthony, pretty soon.
Yeah, so you're in the category of people that are really starting to get or are already pretty unhealthy with all those illnesses that you mentioned. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes. That's why I'm coming in. And I think the only one that put me there was my Lord, my God upstairs, to help these people that they might not know, they might not, and people sometimes they don't really care at this point. And there is still some light forward. And the word is faith. Have faith and take what they tell you, what's good for your body.
Well, it's strange that you mentioned that. There's a fellow Texan who lives in Corpus, I think, Marcia. She had an experience with cancer, and I'm going to send you that video she did. But basically, in the end, she had such tremendous results. She said, "I've got my family, my friends, everybody I've got drinking it." She said, "This is the Jesus Christ tonic water."
It could be. Yes, it could be.
Well,
It could be.
it could be because I assure you that everybody who drinks it regularly gets rid of or avoids that kind of attitude that we were just talking about. They have energy, their brain works better, they have less fog, they're more excited, they're more happy. Just generally, life is really much more pleasant, and they don't criticize and they're less negative. If it only does that for people in this country, this is a miracle.
Yes, and when I started taking it and I noticed it, I told Cecil, it is a good product. You guys are doing well. I'm gonna see if I can get some more people to buy it and take it. But like I told Cecil, I'm well known, like he is too, in Corpus Christi. A lot of people know us around that area, and we can gather. And I know people up in Houston also. But I like to send it, big into big markets, like into Mexico. How are you guys doing in Mexico? The product?
Well, we ship a bit here and a bit there, but most of it is stolen when it's shipped in. Some people come across when they live close to the border and bring it over, but we're not doing a lot of business in Mexico. But you're right, the Mexicans, just like Americans or anybody around the world, everybody is into that same problem, and it's got to do with all the different health issues. And
Well,
you're right, it has to do with mostly the dietary, the food people eat.
but there's more sick people here in the U.S. than Mexico.
That's right, because they eat worse here than there.
Yes,
I mean, the food in Mexico is really great.
yes, but no, it's like I tell you, Anthony. Every person I see and's got problems with diabetes, I say, look, if you take this health, faithfully and start drinking it, maybe in a year wise or less than a year, you might not need insulin or you might not need anything for your diabetes.
Did you have any of those health issues yourself when you started?
No, 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 no. I did not have any diabetes or high blood pressure or anything. I just my testosterone level started picking up, and I could see that my energy level was rising, and I like it.
Because Cecil told me your testosterone went through the roof, he said.
Well, 700. It was at 700.
That for a 68-year-old is a miracle by itself, because Cecil told me that every doctor he's ever talked to, he was told when his testosterone was checked the first time, he was in his mid 50s, it was 350. The doctor already thought it was very, very high for his age.
And now with this, and I believe that this juice, the tonic, helps on that.
Well, if it's not that, what is it that did it for you?
Well, like I've told you, I've been taking other supplements, other herbs for life from a doctor out of Houston.
Yes, yes.
So I've been taking a lot of herbs, natural herbs.
So it's possible that you just have pretty good health, and so your testosterone is pretty high.
Maybe, but no, I think I noticed this when I started drinking this like 2 years ago.
Then that's it, because it was the same thing with Cecil and his nephew and a few other people that he reported. Even if their testosterone was pretty good at 300 or something, they all went up to 500 or 700. So I guess yours could have been good, but it just went up.
I want to see if I can more 2 ounces instead. I'm taking 1 ounce every day, taking two now. See if I can and go check my level again in about 6 months. See where it's at, and then I'll notice that too.
Well, you have probably at 68 start to drink a little bit more. I mean, I'm going to be 88 this year, and I'm drinking at least 3 ounces a day, sometimes four. And I have nothing wrong with me, but I don't want anything to be wrong with me.
And I think that this juice here, Anthony, keeps your immune system high. Also, it helps you. I just have that belief.
You actually hit the nail on the head, because even on our website, Dr. Mowry refers to the immune system, and he told us in all his experience, and he was doing lots of research in the 80s and 90s, he said he had never ever found anything that boosted the immune system as much as JC Tonic. And I believe that, because people who drink it, they never seem to get sick, or for not very long. If they get a cold, it's only a sniffle, it's only a couple of days.
You know how I noticed it? It helps you and brings you back up, gives you energy, right? After I walk, we walked every day. We walk a mile every day, me and my wife. Or if not, we go on the treadmill. I have a workout exercise room. We do the workout, and after you do workout and come in real tired, you go take the shower and come and have an ounce of that little juice or 2 ounces and wait 10-15 minutes and see your level at that point. You've got more energy to go do some more stuff immediately. In 10 minutes, you can tell right there.
Well, that's another thing that I'm glad you mentioned, because even today, when I take a big shot of it, within 20-30 minutes, I know I'm different. I mean, the energy all of a sudden changes, my focus changes, and that's after drinking it for so many years. It still affects me like that, and that's because our bodies are breaking down every day, no matter who we are, where we are, what we take, how healthy we are. They're getting older every single day, and that's going faster than us trying to stay young. So the tonic actually ends up to be a youth solution. It keeps you younger. Watch and see. In 20 years, you're going to be looking 20 years younger than most people, you know.
I hope God hurt you already at what you said. Been living another 25 years.
Well, look, you're 68, 70, 80, 90. Oh, yeah, that's pushing 100. Yeah, that's a tall order, but
That's about the right age. I was thinking to live to about 90 something, 96, 95.
oh, see, if we live well until we die at 95, and we'll die with a big smile, and that's better than being in a wheelchair with an oxygen hose up your nose, you know.
Of course, and I see a lot of people, and I feel real bad for those people. They're in their 30s and 40s, and that's why I want to help these people by introducing this juice. It's like bringing something to your hometown and telling all the people to take it because this is a good candy or a good drink, or it's got something that helps your body.
Well, I'm going to help you do that, and we're going to help you as best we can. But even with me doing this all my life, every 10 people I talk to, 8 of them still think I'm crazy. But if we only get 2 out of every 10, we'll soon have everybody, you know. Benjie, so good. We have your old pal, lifelong pal on, Cecil, who introduced you to the JC Tonic. Let's continue this great conversation.
Yeah, that's correct. It is.
Why did you introduce him to it, Cecil?
I felt sorry for him. Thought maybe he'd listen to me because I've known him ever since first grade or second grade. I can't remember. So Benjie has always taken care of himself, and I knew that. So if I introduced him to this, well, he listened to me. And if I can get him to listen to me, how many connections does Benjie have to so many people that are sick?
Why would you think he would listen to you when you did not listen to anybody when they tried to tell you 20 years ago to do it?
Well, because he owes me money. He came in my restaurant and paid for one, but ate for two. So I lost money on him every time he was at the restaurant.
Well, good. You're not overweight, are you, Benjie?
No, I'm not. But tell him why you owe me that money. I used to cut your backyard. You never paid me.
Well, but you stole the peaches off the tree.
So you're pretty even, the both of you, after all these years. It's so great to see people so happy and friendly, and after so many years, you've known each other for, what, 40 years or more, right?
Well, about 6.
Yeah, almost 60 years.
So now Benjie was telling me that he does believe his testosterone went up because of JC Tonic, but we don't know how high it was before.
No, but he went up like a rocket ship.
So that's what happened to you too, Cecil.
Right, but his went even higher, and he's on lower dosage than I am, and I'm like, wow.
And he's older than you are as well.
He's 1 year older.
I'm taking 1 ounce a day of the tonic.
Well, if you take more than 1 ounce, Benjie, you're going to be a rocket ship. You'll be moving to Houston in the rocket program.
I'll be jumping to 2 ounces once I get a bottle here pretty soon.
You mean you're out of it? You let yourself run out? Holy cow.
I've got a little bit. I've got maybe about 8 ounces left. I've got enough for another week, so I'll get some.
You know, we had shortage of product one time many years ago, and people who had a bottle, they would take an ounce out and they would make a line on the side of the bottle and put their initial. Then they would mail it to a friend who was allowed to take an ounce out, and then they put a line and initialed it and mailed it to another friend. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Now that's friendly.
That's helpful, and they're helping each other with their health. That's what they're doing. Like we were talking that conversation earlier about, you got to love yourself. Those are lovely people.
Well, Benjie, when you and Cecil organize that presentation, where are you going to be doing it? In Corpus area?
I guess we have, charge on that. It's going to be in the Corpus Christi area.
When you do that and you put 200 or 300 people or whatever you get in a room, and they hear the stories of everybody, I can assure you there's going to be a hurricane of activity of people believing, because that's what they have to do. They have to hear your stories. illness. And most people who are ill just don't believe it because they've been told so many other stories about their health that are not true, but they don't know they're not true. And of course, we do not make claims, and I have a big disclaimer even on this call. And I tell people it is not a cure for anything. It cleans up the blood supply, which then makes a better body, and the body cleans itself up and gets rid of all its problems. But people find that hard to believe. So you were going to say, Benjie?
Oh, I was going to tell you, I was going to ask you guys, Steve, you have someone that's been taking it for faithfully for 5 years, 10 years that had a big issue. You know, we can video that guy tape and show it there at that meeting. It'll be a good idea.
I think we'll even have some people at the meeting who have been drinking it for 5 or 10 years. Cecil has an awful lot of people that he got drinking it over the last 20 years, and a lot of them have continued for 4, 5, and more years. So we'll try and see if we can get somebody live at that presentation.
Those are the people we need to drag over there and let them do a little speech. How to get to know the JC Tonic. How did they come to get it? Who introduced them to them? And they've been taking it faithfully for 10 years, helping their health for that long.
Well, that's it. And of course, that's the difficult part, to get people to keep drinking it. But there are people that see the difference every day, no matter how long they're drinking it. And you're seeing that. Cecil, of course, is the longest user probably in Texas, that's for sure. And he's been drinking it for over 20 years.
I'm going to take it now faithfully. I wish I could have known earlier, but it's never too late. And I take it faithfully, 1 ounce every day. I like it.
Well, if you boost to 2 ounces, you're going to see a tremendous difference already, but you're very healthy and you're staying healthy. And for your age to be healthy like that, not many people are not on some kind of medication. So boost your dose as you get older, because it'll be just a little bit better for you.
Okay, we need a little help here there.
So Cecil, I know he's had tremendous results with his testosterone, but I think in general, Cecil, when you first started, you had a lot of problems. Not like Benjie, he's been pretty healthy. You had plenty of problems.
Had 3 back surgeries, hip replacement, arthritis, 50 doubled in my body. And, I couldn't function because I couldn't sleep, and after I had my 3rd back surgery, my doctor in San Antonio get medals told me you're going to get worse. So he said, you got to find something. I don't know what's out there for you, but you're going to get worse. So that's when you got to start asking around and you try things and listen to people. And, it wasn't, probably 5 years later when Esther came in my restaurant and tried to get me to drink this, if you're looking for something, but what she told me, I couldn't believe it. That thing's got flowers on it. Looked like somebody died, that bottle. I said, how much liquor do you have in that bottle? I said, we don't have any. Well, there was 2 other ladies that she had on it, convinced me to take 1 bottle.
And that's all it took, 1 bottle to get you going.
They told me, when do you go see your doctor? And I said, well, in 3.5 months. She said, well, get a bottle from Esther, order a case, and all your blood work will change, your health's going to change, everything's going to change. Well, in 2 weeks, it changed. And I was the new guy on the block. I was 43 years old. And I told people, oh, my God, I feel like I'm 25. I'm sleeping good, or I couldn't sleep. And I had depression because after, years of not sleeping and your health is bad, you hurt all over because of your arthritis, and then a miracle comes and here I am, I'm like, and, Anthony called me after I was on this 6 months, and he called me at the restaurant. I didn't know who he was. He said he's Anthony Jurak. It's like December the 12th or 13th, and I was busy. We got parties, caters, Christmas time, and I said, okay, what can I do for you? Well, I'm the Tonic Man, and I still didn't know what he was talking about. I said, you got a company, right? You want to have a Christmas party? He goes, no, the stuff you're drinking, boy. And I went, oh, my God, how'd you find me? But I did tell Anthony, you saved my life.
But I remember you telling me at that time you were like, you thought that was it, you were going to die.
Well, I'd come home at 1:30 and just lay down and watch TV, and my ex-wife told me, you're going to die right there. He said, you're 40 years old. What are you going to be like at 60 or 70? And I told her, I'm not going to be here. I'm not here 40. I said, I don't know what I'm going to be like if I make it that long. I really did. Your mind leaves you. You know, when you hurt all the time, you can't sleep. And I look at those football athletes, you know, they've had 18, 20 surgeries and what we could do for them. But you can't get in with them. I've tried everything. And you know, it's hard to believe, just like me. Esther came in when I was 42 and had that bottle in her hand and said, I know you're kind of sick, but if you drink this, it'll all go away. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. I said, how much liquor you got in that thing? She said, ain't no liquor. I said, my dad told me about that. That's black magic or jungle juice, whatever you want to call it. And I literally kicked. She said, what's wrong with you? I told her my cholesterol's 258. She said, well, that'll go away. I said, oh, okay, 1 for 1. And I said, I got arthritis real bad. She said, oh, it's going to help that. And I said, oh, okay, 2 for 2. And I said, well, I can't sleep, you know, and, you know, I got depression. And she said, that'll all go away. And, you know, that's a little bit hard to take.
The results you had are just about miraculous. And a little earlier, Benjie was talking, and what did you say, Benjie, about, oh yeah, we said our friend Marcy from Dallas calls it the Jesus Christ tonic water. Maybe there is something in that. Benjie seems to think there's something to do with that as well.
Well, I think there is, because it could be changing. People that have been taking it for a long time feels happier and they feel better of their, you know, hurting wherever they hurt, hips, liver, whatever. And you know that when your body runs smoothly, everybody's happy. So I think it's like holy water from God coming from the main men upstairs.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Benjie, with the population so angry and negative, and it all comes down to if people had better health, they would be a lot less angry and their minds would function a lot better. So I think that what you mentioned is absolutely true. What do they say? A healthy body is a healthy mind.
Well, yeah, if you have your nerve system comes from your brain. And the brain is the first one that functions, and then your eyes to see forward. So everything is connected in our body. So everything needs to be nutritionist. You know, they have to go to sleep whenever they have to and take care of your body.
Well, at least we've found out that even if they don't do that, but if they drink the tonic, they're going to feel better, look better, and actually become healthier. Even if they don't change the diet on its own, the diet is going to start changing because the body's going to demand less junk and more good stuff. So we have a big mission to do, Benjie, and it's an important one. So I am really, really happy that Cecil got you going on it and that you want to now do something to help other people. And if you have a big contingent in Houston, we can do something there as well. I think we have a big job to put together, and if we can get that meeting organized, it'll start something in that part of Texas.
The people that I'm going to get together, they're all working hard workers. You know, they work for their lives, and they work all their lives. Once we introduce them to 1 bottle or 2 bottles, start drinking them, they're going to be faithful for it. You know, they're going to love it. Gonna love it. I know.
So super, you guys. I really appreciate it. Cecil, I know you're a busy boy, but it's so important to get this message out, and I appreciate you. I thank you. Well, this is the Tonic Man back with you, and I have to make a couple of important comments here that I'm sure you'll appreciate. And the first one is both Cecil and Benjie are happy to share their experience that their testosterone moved up and quite high. If a fellow is in his 60s and his testosterone is over 700, that's like a miracle, because every doctor that Cecil ever spoke to told him that if his testosterone was 350 at his age, it was already very high. Well, maybe that's one of the problems that men have in this country, low testosterone. I know a number of years ago there was a statistic that said 30 million American men have erectile dysfunction. I don't know how they get a statistic like that, how it's measured, but I guess over the years they figure out that a lot of men have that kind of a situation. And maybe a lot of it has to do with low testosterone, because now they are saying statistically that millions upon millions of men have low testosterone, and all of that affects a great deal of one's life. So this is not just a man's problem, it's a woman's problem as well, just like too much sugar in your blood. Doesn't matter if you're female or male, if you have too much sugar in your blood for too long, you're going to have major problems. So is it possible that getting everybody to drink the JC tonic, it's not only a youth solution, but it really does rebalance your body to the point that your testosterone starts to shoot upward. And in the case of Benjie, it happened on 1 ounce a day. But as he said, he was in really good health, no medications, eating great food, and so it didn't take much. In Cecil's case, he was a broken man, and it took more. But does it matter how much you drink if you can get the results? No, it doesn't. Here I am, pushing 88, and I'm drinking a minimum of 3 ounces a day, sometimes 4, and I have nothing wrong with me. But I'm going to measure my testosterone pretty soon, and I'll let you know what mine is. But I don't have any other health issues in terms of taking some kind of medications to reduce the cholesterol and the blood sugar and the blood pressure and so on. Everything that is measured on my body when I go for my annual seems to be within the so-called acceptable range. And that varies. It'll vary for everybody, no matter what age you are. One day something will be a little higher, next day it'll be a little lower. But if it's in between what they consider good balance, then you're okay. And so far, I'm okay. But I am growing old, and my body is breaking down faster as I'm growing older, because that's what bodies do. They break down faster and faster, so you get old faster and faster. And I'm trying to not get old as quickly. In other words, slow down the process. I do believe that I may have slowed down the process. Go and look at my video and tell me if I look 88 years old or 87 and a half years old as I was when I shot the video. Either everybody's just trying to make me feel good, or they're telling the truth because they tell me I don't look my age. So do I look 70? Do I look 65? Maybe the lady, Martha, on the video, who is 75 and has never been given more than 58, maybe that's true. Because go and look at the video. She looks awful young. She sure doesn't look 75. So it is a youth solution, and I think everybody should be thinking about it in those terms. Get people to start drinking it earlier in life so that it slows down the process of the getting old stuff that we all are going to face or are all facing now. And if you can do as Cecil did, stop the ravages of pain and stress and no sleep and all the rest of the things that create a miserable life, that maybe bring about all this anger in this country. Just a good night's sleep may correct an awful lot of it. So if you have a good night's sleep, and your body's rebalanced, and your digestive system functions, and you poop properly. And for the guys, if your testosterone starts to increase, and for the gals, if your hormones are more controlled, so when it's time for hot flashes, they're not as ravaging. Holy smoke, what a way to go. How great life could be. Why go through all what people are going through? Sure, we have a government that's going to change things, but you know that's going to take time. The food companies are talking about changing things and taking out some of the colors that seem to be not too good for a body, but they're going to do it over a 2-year period. I mean, by the time everybody rolls around to getting things done, it's going to take years. Why not start now? Head off all those problems that older people will end up having by getting on the JC. Everybody listening to this call, there now is on the website a 50% discount on your first order just for enrolling to receive texts and emails. That's the reason we're doing it. We need you to approve and to accept in writing that we can send our text and our emails. And in return, you get 50% off your first order. So why don't you get all your friends, family, loved ones who are suffering to jump in, grab the 50% discount, and by the time they drink the JC Tonic, the youth solution, just for a month, even only 1 ounce, they are going to see a difference in their well-being. And that just grows and gets better and better as time goes by. And that's what happened with me, and that's what happened with Martha, who is on the video. She has been drinking the preparation for close to 40 years. That's why she looks 25 years younger. So you can as well. You can't? Why can't you? Your body is exactly the same as hers or mine or anybody's. And that is one thing that everybody has to understand. Doesn't matter your gender, your color, your religion, your country, where you live. If there are 7 billion living souls on this planet, every single body functions exactly the same way. Everyone. The people of a different color don't have a body that functions differently. Those of a different religion, the body functions the same way. Every single body is made the same, functions the same, and if you use the JC Tonic, the youth solution, it will perform the same on anyone's body. Get those folks in your family. Like Benjie said on the call, he wants to get everybody around him healthy. He sees what's happening to people. It saddens him. It saddens me. It saddens the Kennedy, who is now in charge of turning the health of America around. It saddens the President of the United States, who gave him the mandate to do so, because they understand that a healthy body is a healthy mind, as I have understood for most of my life, and as I want you to understand and then take action. So thank you for being on this call. I hope what we have all said has registered with you. I hope that you do take action. Until next time, don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce. Bye for now.